Welcome back, y'all. You still tuned into the Beat Conductors. And I'm your MC L Better. Right now, we're about to get to this TV Lounge Series. We got to interview one of the DJs that we've had the pleasure to work with here with the Beat Conductors. DJ Soyo doing the interview. It's my homegirl L Boogie, Lisa L Boogie. So y'all give it up for them. We're about to get into that real quick.
What up, everybody? What up, hip hop? This is your girl Boogie. Big up to L Better. Also, big shout out to Josue doing this thing. Y'all give it up for Josue.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's looking great tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. This is the Beat Conductors Lounge Series, and it is the first, so give it up for yourselves. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're going to start it off tonight. First off, because it is Women's History Month, I'm going to talk with my girl DJ Soyo. If y'all don't know, y'all going to get some info. But later on, we got my man, Grussel, coming out, a.k.a. Emina. Give it up for Gruss, who'll be out a little later.
Yeah.
Big Gruss. But again, like I said, right now, I have with me DJ Soyo. I can't say local DJ anymore because she's doing her thing. Big up and congratulations on the Wu-Tang Radio
Thank you.
series you have coming up. And that is something that you've been doing for how long now? Is it fairly
almost a
new?
year since May. The WuTangRadio.com is pretty new. It's only been on the air since November. So everything's pretty new. So we're still learning how to, technical difficulties. But yeah, so since May, about a year.
But it's Wu, so it's a big deal.
Yeah, I was very excited. I couldn't believe I even got selected. Like, they asked me. I was like, oh, for real? I was like, cool. All right, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But as soon as I hung up the phone, like, yes. Wu-Tang. I put everything Wu-Tang after that.
So how did that come about?
Apparently, what they were doing, how Wu-Tang, the Wu-Tang DJ Coalition came about is because of the RZA. What he wanted to do is that he wanted to continue the tradition of hip hop, which started with the DJ. So what he started noticing is the trend that a lot of music doesn't get played. Even Wu-Tang music doesn't get played on regular radio, unless
Right.
it's 5 o'clock or the 12 o'clock mix, and they only play old school. Like any new music they put out, it doesn't get played. So he said, we need to stop that. I want to reach out to the DJs, form this coalition, fuck the radio stations. Can I cuss? I forgot. I'm sorry.
Yes.
All the 7 words you can say
Explicit
on television
lyrics.
kind of thing. So when he saw that, he decided, I'm going to reach out to the DJs. Fuck the ones that don't play us. We'll have our own DJs to play us all over the world. We Wu-Tang, fuck everybody. And that's how it came about. So what they started doing was checking out DJs from everywhere and just reaching out to them, see what they were doing. And from DC, they noticed some of the stuff I was doing. So basically, they wanted DJs that were really about hip hop culture, not just saying it, but really living it. So that's how I was honored. They came to me and they say, you want to be part of? Like, yes. And then 2 months later, you want your radio show? I was like, are you serious? Like, yes. And that was it. Like, it was amazing. I feel honored. I couldn't believe that it happened like that. Like, people that's it. Yeah.
So how many DJs do they have from this area?
Right now, as far as I know, they only have 2.
Okay.
Most of the DJs are from New York, and they have a couple overseas DJs. So they're still growing. It's just one of those things, want to be organized. You don't want to just throw whoever in there. And it's just they're taking their time, making sure it's right and that kind of thing. But it's a very good thing, I think, for the DJs to get their props. That's always a big thing for me. DJs that really DJ to get their props. So that means you really are not scared of music. You can play whatever you want. And when you can play whatever you want, you have that freedom. You don't play the regular stuff. You actually play your local artists. You're not scared to play African music. You're not scared to play drum and bass. You play whatever you want, and you play good music, whatever that good music is.
So it's not all hip hop, straight hip hop.
No, you can play whatever. We can play whatever we want. You know, we have one DJ. He plays drum and bass. You may have some nights. If I feel like playing house music, I'll play house music. It doesn't matter. As long as it's good music, they don't care.
As far as radio goes, you're all over the place. You're doing Capital Resistance as well on Monday night.
Well, I started doing that with Head Rock. He asked me to come through. I kind of fill in, and it was just, again, like a lot of things. It's just an accident. He needed someone. I was there, and, you know, peanut butter and chocolate came together, and we had Reese's Pieces and that kind of.
But you seem to be the go-to person.
Sometimes I think it's because I'm consistent and I know the people. And before I was a DJ, I was a fan of hip hop. Like, I used to go to the shows. I really love hip hop. I'm not just saying that. They seen me grow into, not from a fan into a DJ. Like,
Right.
I used to be front row center, like, yeah, I know the words. And I used to buy all their CDs. I still have them. So it's not like they saw me really learn from the culture, love it, learn, become a DJ, become a speaker, become a teacher, really take a path. So I think I get respect from that, because a lot of people just, especially now, people just become DJs.
Right.
And, you know, a week later, they got a gig somewhere because they do it for free. And you're like, what? Like, how? That was my gig. Like,
Right.
you know, that kind of thing.
Well, being a fan and starting off as a fan, who were your inspirations as far as hip hop, as far as DJing? Who did you like?
Oh man, my inspiration. Well, I'm about to tell my story that I have said a million times.
There it is.
How it's I'm originally from El Paso, Texas. When I got introduced to hip hop, I didn't even know English, and I was a bit of a rebel, that kid. I don't recommend this for anybody. But at the time, you used to, in Mexico, you could actually go party underage, and they had a place where you could listen to hip hop music. And I was 13 years old at this club, and I never forget it. I heard Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim, and I swear, it's like I saw God or something. Like I saw light, and I was like this. What is that? I need to know more about this. And from then on, I was just like engulfing. It's like my life was going this way. And as soon as I heard the song, it just went this way. I had to know everything about at the time, I didn't even know what it was called. But I was like, what is that? And I would see the guys with the cymbals. I'm like, what is the Gods and Earth? Tell me more about that. And they, you know, like, it switched my whole perspective on life. It just changed my whole life. That song did it for me. And it's just, from then on, it inspired me. The more I learned about it, and I saw what those people were talking about, and I saw them and what they were representing, they inspired me because they were being me. They were talking about me. Their experiences reflected my experience. When they were talking about women, like, you know, as you can see, I'm a tall Mexican woman. Like, in my neighborhood, I'm Shaq. Let's be real. Like, everybody is like 5'4". My mom, I feel like a giant. So, like, and this is kind of funny, but it's true. Like, when they were talking about women in hip hop, they were always talking about shapely women. I'm like, hey, they like me over there. You know, that kind of thing. So it gave me like another total different sense of self. When KRS came up with that saying, I am hip hop, it gave me a whole different way of representing myself. I was no longer boxed into being a Mexican girl. Like, what else am I? And that kind of, like, I'm telling you, like, for me, hip hop, it changed my life. It totally became a totally different thing. So that was the inspiration of hip hop. Through being just a fan, I just would go crazy, like, you know, and I don't know about now, but when hip hop was first coming out, since it was so new, when you first heard Public Enemy, you were like, "What is that?" When you first heard Wu Tang, you like, "What is that?" You
Right.
ran and got. You had to know everything about them. Like it's that kind of excitement doesn't seem to be around like that. But at the time, oh my God, you had to know who all these people. EPMD, you were like, "Oh my God, what is that? What is that? Who's that producer?" Who you wanted to know everything. And so that's how I came about. And I learned about that. I became a fan and I learned about the DJs when I moved to the DC area. And again, I started going to shows. I got introduced to True School. Then I met DJ Underdog. He was one of my first inspirations. Then I met DJ Earth One. She was a big inspiration. And as I met other DJs, I was like, I think I can do this. And I started doing it and I just went for it. And I've been very, very, again, lucky. Maybe, again, is the love that I have. And I don't mind learning, but I've been I get consistent gigs since then. So it's been a great journey. I mean, I feel grateful just to be considered part of hip hop culture, something that I love. Now people consider me part of it. It's like, oh,
Well, you are, and I like the story, and I like, I talk to different folks and different people who DJ and MC and produce, and hearing how they're inspired by hip hop and how they say, I am hip hop, and it's good to have a Latino woman who can also say, I am hip hop, because hip hop has different shapes, different shades, different backgrounds. So I love hearing that story, and it's interesting that you actually decided to go into the DJ side of it, because a lot of cats think, oh, I want to MC now everybody wants to rap, but that's a whole different story. We ain't gonna get into rapping versus MCing. But a lot of people wanted to MC, so it's really cool, and I like women DJs, because being a woman and being a percussionist, when you see people see a woman DJ or a woman drum, it's like, oh man, this chick, she's behind the wheels, or this chick, she's behind the drums. So, and I think it's inspiring for other young ladies as well, especially other young Latino women, because hip hop is a culture, but it's a broad culture, and I think that's important for everybody to see.
you can make it your own.
You can
make it
definitely
your
make,
own.
because hip hop is what it is. You know what I mean? There's the definition of hip hop is consistent, but it varies at the same time. And I think it's everybody's personal experience. So it's good hearing your personal experience. And hip hop has always been that of sharing your story. You know what I mean? Sharing your story and activism, which is something that you do as well. You do a lot of charity work. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, to me, that's another passion I always had. So I just kind of combined the two. And it seems to be not just something that I do, but it has across the board. I met so many people that just use, hip hop as a way to connect with the community. And as I learned about the history of hip hop, that's always been the case with Africa Bambaataa. That was the whole thing, connecting with the community. So I just like to be able to connect with charities, to be able, and it's not a hard thing. If I DJ, I can provide music for a homeless shelter. Hey, why not? Give him a good night of fun. If you go to some of their little events, to fundraisers, sometimes it's just sad. They have a little boombox and it's just with the radio. They're playing the radio. I was like, oh man, come on, you need a DJ. I'll DJ for you. Don't do that no more.
So if
thing.
anybody is fundraising, they can look up Soyo,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. That's a big thing with me. It's children, women. Those are my biggest things. I work with a battered women's shelter that I do stuff with a lot. I think it's important to stay in touch with the community as an artist, because that's first who supports you. But if that's something you're into, and you can, as a woman, for me, kids don't really get to see a lot of positive images. So when they see you working, doing something for them, I think it does something for them. You never know what you do can touch somebody else. I have people stop me, for doing True School for years, I still walk down the street and people yell, True School, Soyo, or my real name, which is Claudia. Before I started DJing, they knew me by that. And they'll remember a speech that I gave years ago. I don't even remember it. And they remember something I said. I remember you told me to believe in myself and don't be scared. You told me this. And I'm like, oh, well, good. And they remember. So you never know. Just one positive experience, how it can change someone's life. Just like one positive experience, just know somebody paid in full. My life changed right there. So, to me, that's very important to pass on whatever I have, the passion that I have. It may not be the same thing that I like, but it might be something that makes them find themselves, whatever that is. And I always say, doesn't have to be what I like, but whatever you like. Just, especially right now with a lot of little girls, they don't have a lot of, it's kind of hard for me to see myself as a role model. I always say, I just want to be the catalyst for positive change. I don't want anybody to look at me and be like, I want to be like her or anything like that. I don't even feel comfortable like that. But just for me to push that button to make you say, hey, I could do that. I could do something, whatever that something is. I don't have to live like that. Whatever my circumstances are, I'm past that. Because I live those. I have bad circumstances and I move past them. And I want to pass that on. So that's why it's kind of weird for me to say I'm like that positive role model. I mean, that's good, but I feel more like I want to be a catalyst. That's what I'm saying. I want to be a catalyst for positive. I feel better with that.
Well, you're both.
Yes.
Realistically, you're both. And it's something else that you do that I like is you teach as well. How do you like that?
It was a lot of fun. Teaching, I never saw myself as a teacher. That's one of the things that just, people ask me, hey, you love hip hop. Why don't you come talk to the kids about hip hop? Like, okay. So I went and talked to some kids about hip hop and, I didn't think they were going to be interested, but I'm like, all right. And, a lot of times you see the kids, they're like this, what's she going to talk about? They don't want to hear it. So I try to find things that they connect with because that's what it is. Like music is so universal. I try not to make it about me. I try to make it about them. So, I ask them, who do you like? If you like Lil Wayne, I'm not here to judge, Lil Wayne may not be what I like, but if you like it, then I try to connect the elements of hip hop into what Lil Wayne does. Lil Wayne does do community work. So I'm like, okay, you want to be like Lil Wayne, he does community work. You can also do that. You don't have to just copy the music, but there's other things. And it opens up their minds like, oh man, we can really do different things. It's not just one dimensional. That's it.
Just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying about teaching the kids, do you find that they have a different view of what DJing is? As far as, we're in a digital age, and then we grew up on vinyl. So,
well, yes and no. Vinyl, we are losing such a big part of the culture because you don't have that experience of going to the vinyl store, digging, searching, reading, looking at pictures, seeing other people there, learning from other music. Now you just go, oh, I like that song. Oh, that's it. You're losing a whole experience that's part of the culture. So that's kind of hard, but that doesn't mean that their experience is necessarily bad. It's just not as good or as deep. Or maybe for us, we have a memory of how it was. Like we wish they would know this part of it. So when I teach, when people ask me to teach them about DJing, I bring them to my house and I try to incorporate those elements that they don't get to see. So I teach them with vinyl. I always laugh because I must be a hard teacher because they never come back because they want to learn push.
Right.
But, I'm like, no, we're not even putting the computer on right now. We're just going to get 2 vinyls, and I have to actually teach them what the lines mean.
Oh, no.
How to
Operating the lines.
They start pushing it. He's like, how do I go to the next song? I'm like, pick up the needle. They're like, like really? Because some kids really never seen vinyl.
Right.
And I'm like, that is so crazy to me. So, I mean, I try to incorporate that. Whenever I'm there, I'm going to incorporate the things that they don't get to experience. That's it, So I feel like we can pass on that experience.
And that's what teaching is. And we're so grateful that you're teaching that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out and joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank everyone else for coming out. We got Russ up next, y'all. Stay tuned.
Yeah, B Conductors, y'all. Vernal Equinox edition. We just had a real nice interview go down with DJ Soyo, and the interviewer was L Boogie. So right now we about to get into the Q&A. We got a few contestants up the bat. State your name, where you from, and what you gonna ask.
Yeah, I'm Grussell. I'm a fellow producer. I just wanted to know, as a DJ, the transition goes into producing. So did you ever think about going into production?
Yes. I'm actually working my way into that realm. But, I'm really old school. So it's like, I really want to know when it comes out, it's going to be like, oh, DJ Soyo. Not like, oh, DJ Soyo.
You want it to hit.
I want it to be hot, basically.
How you doing, DJ Soyo? My name's Sam Rich. I'm from PG County, Maryland. And a lot of people my age and younger don't know what a DJ is. They don't know what a producer is. They don't know exactly what an artist is. So can you define for me what a DJ is? It's more than spinning records, I know.
Well, a DJ, there's several different kinds of DJs. You have the DJs that, what I call the corny DJs that you see with the little bow ties at the weddings. Those are called mobile DJs that kind of do those kind of corny. I don't want to say corny, but it's
the bar mitzvah DJs.
It's corny DJ. Like they don't really, it's like they could do that all day long, same song, same order kind of thing.
Right.
Then you have club DJs, then you have radio DJs.
Okay.
So it is a different style for depending on the situation. Right. I'm more of I guess I became a radio DJ, but I'm more like a hip hop DJ. I want to scratch. I want to like bring the music, break records. A lot of that break records means you're not scared to play new music. A lot of DJs are not known for that anymore because people don't play new music anymore. So there are different levels of DJing.
So it's not just spinning records.
No, it depends on what kind of DJ you want to be. If that's the kind of DJ you want to be, you just have to know if that's what you're trying to do. But there's some people that are radio DJs that may never play out in a concert setting. They may not feel that comfortable. Some people don't care. It depends on how comfortable you are with what you want to do.
Find out what kind of DJ you want to be,
and then you can take it from there. Some people, hey, they like the corny DJs. What I call the corny. I apologize. That's what I call it. It's just corny gigs kind of thing. But
thank you.
No disrespect to the corny DJs.
Hey, what's up? My name is DJ. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA. You were talking about how children or how just people in general have positive influence from hip hop culture. What part of hip hop culture do you think they find the most joy out of? Like, where do they find that real love for the culture?
To me, hip hop culture is the people in the culture. Like this is, 20 years from now, when you look back, this is going to be a historical moment. You can look back and you're going to be like, this is history right here. I was there. We were doing history. Because when people talk about hip hop culture in DC back in 2012, what was going on? Hey, the big conductors, what did they do? They did this. That's history. That's positive. This is the memory that you're going to have. And you can tell your child, I was there. And like, I was there with DJ Soyo. I was there with the big conductors. That's the positive images that we have. That's what people remember from the 90s. you know, I'm talking about people my age, then you got people from the 80s. You know, we did have negative aspects. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, hip hop was all, you know, break dancers and scratching and all. Hey, we have NWA. But guess what? I like that shit. I like that shit too. It's not that I dislike certain things. My whole thing is always balance. You know, like BT, they banned Nicki Minaj. Like, they don't get it. I don't want Nicki Minaj banned. I just want you to play Lauryn Hill at the same time. That's it. I'm not mad at Nicki Minaj. But show that there's another aspect of hip hop. Like that back in the day, we used to have Luke, and then you will have Public Enemy. Same exact time. They even went on tour together with no problem. Poor Righteous Teachers, this is no lie. Look it up. Poor Righteous Teachers went on tour with X-Clan, Ice Cube, and what's that other rapper? I can't think of his name. He's real nasty.
Too Short.
Too Short. There you go. They all went on tour together because they were considered the most dangerous hip hop acts at the time. Two of them, X-Clan, Poor Righteous Teachers, considered the most conscious at the time.
Right.
They were considered dangerous. Too Short and Ice Cube, considered the nastiest at the time, were also considered the most dangerous. Came together. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not against anybody. I used to be like really hardcore and speak against like, that's not hip hop, this is not hip hop. You know, fuck, what's who, you know, like, well, no, I still don't like him. Like Vanilla Ice, you know, something like that. To me, I hated it. I hated it with a passion, you know. But now looking back, you have kids that was their introduction to hip hop. You know, they would have never even known what hip hop is because they were kids. They like dance. They like the dancing. So I was like, okay, you know, I understand. And I had to learn that not everybody has my same experience. So I can't be against somebody else's experience. That's it. You know, just be balanced. That's all I say about that.
Keyword, balance.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all give it up for Soyo.
Thank you.
It's the Beat Conductors. About to take a quick little break. We gonna come back, Cartier and Grussel. Y'all stay tuned.